What's up, guys? I'm Cody. I'm the guitar player for the Stillborn Poet. Just stoked to see you guys checking this out. Stay tuned for this interview. We're going to let you guys know some sick stuff that's going on, and we're going to drop some super stoked stuff and dates that are going to be happening soon for you guys to check out.
What's up, guys? I'm Mikey. I play bass and sing for the Stillborn Poet. This interview, you're going to hear a lot of new stuff, a lot of old stuff, a lot of fun stuff, so we hope you enjoy it. Sometimes I get yelled at when I answer this because everyone's got their own opinion, especially people from back in the day. I feel like it's progressed better now because back then you had bands of like the same people who would start a band, no one liked it, but the same people would quit that band and start another band. So I think now like that you have bands that are more stable and have a better following and a better background. So I think now it's like better, and I can see we'll doing this for a long time, like especially in the scene now. Like I feel like if we were this band a few years ago, it probably wouldn't have lasted very long because support just wasn't there. I mean, people were coming to shows, but there were no support there for it. So I feel it's better now than it was then, and I could see doing this for a long time in this scene.
Yeah, like on my take of it, I like see the majority of the bands, especially in the area that we are from, really kind of pushing each other.
They take it more serious.
Yeah, I mean, it's on a competitive level and on a friendly level because we all help each other out. We all make each other a little bit better as we go along. But on the same time, we all stay on the same standards of professional level with each other. We try and keep it a very well-rounded and very professional group around in each area. I guess I can say that right now, everyone in the band and Ryan aren't exactly on the greatest terms. We don't necessarily talk. We've seen him a couple times here recently at the shows. You know, I said hi a few times. You know,
He's hit me up to do a few things for him.
Yeah. Basically, we ran through a little issue with Ryan in the beginning of just some unprofessional issues and things that we saw that would hurt the band in the future and that would ultimately hold us back from progression. And so we completely professionally got a hold of him. Every person in the band was there, and we told him straight up how it is, that we still care for the guy. We still want to be friends with the guy.
We wished him well.
And basically, you know, we don't want to see anything bad happen to him. We'd like to see him continue to pursue music. He is good at what he does. But we just knew at the time that it just wasn't best for the band and that we needed to quickly get over this hump if we were going to progress at the stage we were going and be anywhere within the year. At this level, we have basically almost got the first single done with Zach, and we really like what he's been doing as far as with other bands and what he's been doing so far with us.
He puts out goals.
We really like Jack. I've gotten to know Jack a little better since the last show we played with him in War of Ages. I really like his setup and what he has going on in his home, but we just find that the only issue between the two is Jack lives a little ways away. That is going to have to be like a scheduled appearance. We'd have to drive 11 hours away to meet up with him, and we really would like to work with the producer face to face so that way we can get input and give input and make sure that everything's getting across the way we want it to. As of right now, we are going to finish out the single and see what it comes back to. More than likely, we will probably stick with Zach for this one just because of the face-to-face. I know Jack has a lot going on with his band, tours and stuff, and we right now we're just kind of in the stage where we're ready to go ahead and get everything done the way we want it to, and we just think it's going to be a little easier right now. After this album, I would love to work with Jack. I would love to, see the varieties and see the way he does things as opposed. We like working with different people and seeing what they can do. So, so for now, we are going to stick with Zach. We'll be 100% sure once we get the full final mixes back from the first single. We love it, but so far we love everything that he's been doing. We love it the way we've been doing. We're going to stick with them. And like I said, in the future after this album, more than likely we'll be working with Jack for a single or an album, just to see what he can do. That way we have a little variety and a little, go-to things that we want to do in the future if we have choices.
Nothing that we've taught. I mean, we haven't even done anything but one song for the new EP as far as recording, and we haven't really talked about any solid guest vocals. I mean, I've mentioned a few. We haven't even talked about it. Just, we're pitching ideas. So as of right now, there is no one confirmed for guest vocals, but that could always change.
Mikey, do your best Jagger.
God damn it, Chris Weddle. Fuck you, Chris Weddle. Best Jagger is, there's a thing going on with my previous band called We Watch the Sky. I was in a band with Chris Weddle and a bunch of other awesome dudes. We had to stay no matter where you were, no matter what you were doing. If you were at work, if you were in a funeral, if you were at church, if you were pooping, and you got a text message or a call and they said do your best Jagger, you had to right then take out your phone, have someone record you doing your best Mick Jagger impression and send it to them. You had like an hour leeway to send it, and if you didn't send it, like the loser had to get that person's face tattooed on their ass.
Good.
And this has been going on between me and Weddle for like, I don't know, 5 years now. So
Don't start that with me.
you have to agree to it. It's just like the game. You have to agree to it. It's progressed a whole lot because back in the day, like I said, you had a lot of bands that tried, they failed. A lot of the same people started bands doing the exact same thing, the exact same music, just different names, just to see how better it was recepted. I know a lot of people that are like my age and started when I did say the scene was better back then, but that's when we were playing in church cafeterias and we thought it was cool when 10 people showed up. I mean, now we have support for it. We have Inside Out venue just hosted a show with Fit for a King. There was like over 400 people there, and that's still for us considered a local show because most of our local friends were playing it. And back then it was like churches and bars that only allowed 21 and up. As to here, we have the skate park that we can play in. Here we have Inside Out. We have the shanty for the hardcore scene. It's grown, and I don't see why people still say the scene back in the day was any better than it is now, because now we have places to play, we have support. Like the Van Witness from this area, they played with us last night, and there were like seriously like 20 people crawling over each other trying to get to the microphone. And I don't know when I've ever seen any local support do that for their local bands. Like people back then just liked the local band because it was their friend or their boyfriend or their sister or brother or somebody. Now you have legitimate support for these bands. Like, I could see every band in our area being successful because you have like Pathway Home, Heavy Burdens, Witness. Like, you have really hard-hitting bands in here right now, and I think the support's here. And the reason these bands don't break up and start new bands with the same members is because, like I said, you actually have the support now. So I think it's progressed further now, and I think it's better now than it was then. I mean, don't get me wrong, the glory days were awesome, and I'll never ever regret playing for 10 people in a church. You know, you gotta love where you came from. But I think it's progressed way better now because, like I said, I've never been to shows where there's like 60 to 80 people out there just for their two local bands. Like, it's awesome. I think it's progressed in a much better way than it has back in the day. For Flatline, our writing process is all kind of like we all have input. Like he'll sit down and write a riff with Lucas and show it to us, and then I might, since I play guitar too, I was like, well, we'll add this here or do this, or Shane will be like, we'll try this, or like. So we all wrote, and some of the southern riffs from the old EP from Flatline did come from me, and or I would just write something, or I have an idea that I couldn't quite put out, so I would just give it to Cody, and he would just like make this freaking awesome riff out of it. Lyrics, I mean, I've written a few. I give them to Ben and Cody, and we just see what comes of them. I haven't really like sat down and written an entire song by myself. We all just have like a pot. We just throw everything into, and we pull out the best parts, and that's kind of our writing process.
Yeah, we try to keep lyrics emotionally attached to at least one of us.
Yeah.
And when we do that, we try and keep as many people in the band as possible to really put in as much as they can in the lyrics. Some of the songs have been kind of like on the spot. You know, boom, put them out there. One song done in like 5 minutes. Like it's been that quick. It just depends on who's sparking, who's not.
Yeah. Basically, if two of us are clicking, we spend an hour together, and then like a whole freaking awesome song is done. Always awesome in our opinion. I can go on and brag and awesome.
Yeah, lyric-wise, it'll either happen right then and there, or it'll happen a week later. But either way, we try to keep everyone's input on it, and we do try to keep every lyric emotionally attached with at least something in somebody else's life. The new album is going to actually have the 7-string in most of the songs. We are using drop A tuning in this album as opposed to drop B in the EP.
Just a dirtier sound.
Yeah, we like it. We thought it was necessary because just the way our music has transitioned in form, it has gotten a little heavier, so we figured the new tuning would really perfect it as much. Writing process-wise, me and Lucas actually like to do a lot of pre-writing before we bring it into practice. So we take and get together outside of practice, and we'll take like a riff idea and just kind of build on it. And we'll build it into the next riff and things like that. And then when we bring it into practice, you know, it takes him 5 minutes to learn it. It takes Shane, you know, a few minutes to learn it. And once we have it all done, we can put it all together, do it, realize what's wrong with it, realize what's good with it, keep it, change it, adapt to it, and then once we have a solid feel to it, we'll have it done, you know, within a few practices. It really helps with the pre-writing process because we're not spending that much time in practice writing as opposed to putting it all together and then changing.
You know, just show up to practice and we're ready to start working on a song. Like
we view practice as more as an editing time as opposed to an actual writing time, because lyrics-wise, we mostly write lyrics outside of practice, and then when we come into practice, we plug them in and make them work. Guitar work, we write most of it outside of practice. Come into practice, plug it in, make it work. Drums and stuff, can't really do much with drums unless you have the song riff idea and stuff like that. At least that's how we feel about it. So we make the riffs, agree upon the riffs, and then put drum work into it.
It takes Shane like not long.
Shane picks up on it a lot. You know, we make the simple beat, and then we give it to Shane to do all the transitions, what he wants to do with that section, and then we move from section to section, and then we keep going back over it, and then finally we have the whole song down. And it, like I said, it takes us a couple practices. Our EP, we wrote it in about a month. So this writing process is taking a little longer because we are trying to slow down. And we're dealing with shows this time. We are trying to slow down and make them as nicely and perfect as possible.
It was less serious back then because we hadn't really played shows yet. We weren't selling merch, or we didn't even have a van really. We were just toting around, and if it was like his old Jeep and the 5 different cars I've had since then. It was a good time. It was more like just hanging out. You know, like when we first started hanging out, we didn't really have songs written. We jammed, like we all knew collectively a few like We Came as Romans and Bring Me the Horizon songs. We just jammed to those, and his ex-girlfriend's basement, and then from there we would just like came up with a few riffs and just jammed them out.
Yeah, we almost screwed up and became a cover band.
We almost did.
we almost screwed up and learned a couple covers to play for our first show.
We were going to play
original
covers.
material, but it was really easy for us because like I didn't even know him or Shane or Ben before we got into this band, and that's a really cool part because it comes to realize that you don't need to know people to get into a band. You just need to click with them. And Lucas has been my best friend since 7th grade, so like I said, pre-writing and stuff like that. The early days was easy because we clicked so soon that we were able to just come in and whip stuff out. And when you're able to do that, you're able to have fun with it. You're not struggling. You're not getting frustrated. You're not wasting time. You get things done so quickly that you just have time to just be bros. You know, we hung out a lot outside of practice, things like that. It was also in the getting to know each other nature, as I said. Half the band knew each other, half the band didn't. So we took the time to really get to know each other, become closer on a bro level, and just whip things out. And it was just easier because a lot of things that we have going on in life now were not a problem back then. And we didn't have shows to worry about. We didn't have the business side to worry about at the time. We just had write our music,
and hang out,
get stoked about it, and chill.
And go to beat-ups.
But then once, you can go to
we
beat-ups.
spent a lot of time at beat-ups.
A lot of road time. So once you got that done, then we had time to worry about and get serious about it. Oh, I hate it.
He was born dead.
I hate it. We were basically, it was actually Ryan's idea. And
Thanks,
so,
Ryan.
yeah.
Thanks, Ryan.
So basically, we were sitting in the basement, or our old practice space at my ex-girlfriend's house, and we were trying to figure out a good name for the band, and we wanted to have something interesting about it.
As soon as he said Stillborn Poet, I was like, yes, that's the one.
Basically, since we found out that nothing's interesting about Mikey, nothing's interesting about Shane.
I'm sorry I wasn't born dead.
Nothing interesting about Lucas.
You can't call us the asthmatics.
And nothing was interesting about Ryan. No, like they have interesting things, but I guess the thing about me kind of stood out.
Because he was born dead.
Apparently, yeah. I was born dead, and I really didn't want it to be about me. I'm like I try not to be as self-centered as possible.
Cody likes to stay in the background and not be about anything.
Yeah. That's
why I made him come do this interview.
But, so Stillborn came out of that, being born dead, and musicians and poets. And I guess that clicked with Ryan when he just spit off the name, and we all immediately, we were like, that's it.
Ryan was good
unique
at coming up with cool stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's how that name came about. Unlike Mikey, Shane,
we've been around for a long time.
Yeah, unlike these guys, we, Lucas and I tried to start a band in high school, and it didn't go very well. We tried to start it with best friends who goofed around way too much, so we got nothing done. We did nothing but goof off. Other than that, literally, I haven't been in the scene at all. I didn't even know the scene existed. Before this band, a lot of the music I listen to now, I did not know about. Me and Lucas both didn't know about. We were more into the metal stuff back in the day. And basically, prior to this, other than me and Lucas jamming with each other at home, that was it. Like I said, we tried to start that little mini band, but that didn't go anywhere quick at all. And so we just kind of said, screw it, until like after high school. But then I met Shane, and we just clicked, and then Shane introduced him, and we clicked, and then it just happened.
It was a fun time.
Yeah.
I almost didn't do it because
we were 18 and we weren't cool enough.
Like me and Shane were jamming all the time, and in every band I've been in, I try not to get anybody who's in high school. Even when I was in high school, I was like, no high schoolers except me. But Shane, I went to his house one day, and Shane was like, hey, I met this really cool dude, and he wants to start a band, and me and Shane have been jamming a lot, which I had my bass gear, and he had his drums, so you can't really do a whole lot with bass and drums. But Shane's like, yeah, I met some guitar players, they're going to come over, and he didn't really tell me that they were, were you 17 or something like that?
Yeah, we were.
You still,
We were. 17.
Yeah, and he was still
17.
rocking braces and stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm sitting there in Shaden's basement, like I'm kicked back, and they walk in, and I took one look at old babyface Ryan and brace face over here, and I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And like they hung out, and I thought they were cool when they left. I was like, Shane, I'm not doing it. That's dumb. I'm not doing it. Shane's like, dude, give it one practice. I'm like, I'll give it one practice. So we go over there, and we get over there, and him and Lucas are playing riffs that I couldn't even fathom, and I was like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll do this. Like Lucas is sitting there just like sweeping offhand, like just coming up with riffs and doing it, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'll give it a try. So I almost wasn't even a part of this band because he had braces.
And we are so glad that he is, because for a band that didn't know each other, for the most part,
We clicked really well.
didn't know each other. You know, half the band has never been into anything music-wise other than playing with each other. Me and Lucas. We. From where we are from that's pretty insane. Like, we have a huge business side, huge connection with the music
Because
scene
I've been
side.
doing it for 11 years.
As opposed, connected with, like, people who are very dedicated to this. And that is the biggest thing that I think is insane, because for people who didn't know each other, we had no idea. We kind of jumped into this, and we all quickly found out we were all very dedicated.
We've only been doing this for a little over a year, and I mean, we've already co-headlined with War of Ages. Our second show ever, we played with Palisades, Famous Last Words, and Tear Out the Heart. We've done a tour. I mean, we've done some awesome stuff for only being a band for a little over a year now. I think we've done a lot. I mean, I think it's awesome. I'm glad I didn't judge you by your braces that much.
You, man.
I'll always tell that story about, yeah, I didn't like Cody because he had braces.
They've changed a lot.
Yeah, our likes go up and down a lot.
Yeah. We, like I said, we started out almost as a cover band.
We all listen to different stuff too. Like him and Lucas have this huge variety of everything they listen to within metal and metalcore and hardcore. Where I'm not saying I'm closed-minded, but I'm very old school, so I listen to a lot of like pop punk and older stuff and
He
stuff.
hates everything we throw at him, plain and simple.
Yeah, he's just like this. Like, no, I hate it.
So unless it's been something he's been listening to.
I'm gonna go over here and check out, like, we're listening to my old Sum 41 records and stuff, and he's like trying to show me new stuff, and no, I hate it.
Yeah.
It's not pop punk.
Inspirations though in the beginning were pretty common.
Anything a metalcore kid
typical
would listen to.
metalcore, like
Bring Me the Horizon.
We Came as Romans. Unfortunately, Attila at one point. Trust me, we're different now.
I can't rap,
just
that's why.
your typical metalcore at that point. We were, at that stage, I guess. But now that we've adapted, we've gotten heavier. We
have our own sound now.
Yeah, like we listen. We're still pretty open-minded about everything, metalcore, hardcore, just about anything like that.
We still love Bless the Fall and August Burns Red.
Oh yeah, Bless the Fall, August Burns
inspirations
Red.
for us.
Those types of bands are definitely have always been inspirations to us. Bands such as I don't know. He's a huge Escape the Fate lover, so
And
that's
then
always been
all of our southern ideas, for the most part, not anymore, but back in the day, came from me because Shane and I grew up listening to He Is Legend, Every Time I Die, and Maylene, and like old Haste the Day and stuff. Which Haste the Day is a huge part of our music now. Like, we fucking love that band.
A lot of the older bands are a huge inspiration.
Like I just had to show them like what the old school metalcore was all about,
Right.
and we put that with like their new age stuff, and it's just like it's coming together as a good sound. And we do have clean poppy choruses. Like we hear all the time. Because last night people were like, "Damn it, y'all's choruses are so catchy." Because like we have this one song, "City of the Dead," and all I sing is "Welcome to the City of the Dead," and everyone's like, "It's stuck in my head for days." I'm like, "Well, I didn't sing 1 2-second line, but I'm cool that you guys love it." It just throws in that part of like that pop punk inspiration and with that new wave shit and then southern things.
Yeah. So early off, typical metalcore brand inspirations. Now, metalcore, hardcore,
Everything.
the heavy bands.
I mean, I used to
we will
hate.
listen to just about everything now.
I used to hate Avenged
non-metal.
Sevenfold, and now he had me listen to him right before you guys got here.
Yeah, I mean, like that was old high school phase, but I mean, every now and then you throw on the old stuff and you're like, hey, throwback. things like that. So
I still listen to Sum 41 and Bowling Pursuit.
Inspirations are everywhere. Everywhere.
What we're feeling that day.
Yeah.
Really. Because, I mean, on tour, we were blasting Seal and stuff like that. Like, some Wu-Tang and shit like that. Like, it's just whatever we feel like. When I'm not doing metalcore stuff, I sit here and I write dubstep and rap all day. Like, it's a huge variety of everything. Ludicrous forever.
Well, Inside Out is definitely the nicest venue I think we played at,
Especially
other than like
Josh
Empire. I think that the venue doesn't really matter as much as
the crowd.
The crowd.
And how much fun you're having.
Like we've had some of the most fun in Luciman Roast, and that is a floor
tiny
show
little
in
coffee
a really
shop.
tiny room, and like that has been some of the most fun times that we've had.
You put 100 sweaty metalcore kids in a tiny room, it gets real fun real quick.
I figure, like with venues, like everyone wants a nice stage, nice monitors, a nice PA system. They want their sound to sound perfect, which is basically Inside Out is one of the
best
main
places,
places
the nicest venue to play.
One of my favorite shows was in West Virginia, and that's just a, half foot off the ground little bar place.
It's like a pool hall.
And venue play, like I said, like venues, it really doesn't matter that much. But as far as the nicest venue, other than Empire, which it was a nice venue, but I don't know how much fun I had with it just because of the crowd.
And it was our second show. We were all nervous as shit.
So as a venue as a whole, including the people you have, Inside Out is definitely the most fun. We play there a lot. We are trying to get more broad with the venues. And,
we're going to North Carolina.
Things like that. So, but Inside Out has been the best, most professional venue.
The most fun I've had at a venue is the skate park at Liberty. Like
that's always fun.
A bucket list thing of mine was always to play in the middle of a half pipe while people were, skating, and we've done that now twice.
Our EP release show was probably the most.
It was in the middle of a skate park, and it was freaking awesome.
Just because they had Josh Moon doing PA, and
Josh
the
Moon.
sound sounded fantastic because he knew how to mess with the reverb with a half pipe and make it sound good with that. So with the half pipe, I guess you can hear everything inside the half pipe, so we can hear each other very well in that. And that is huge to us because we are one of the bands that we don't like to play to a quick track. We try to keep it as raw as possible. Samples we'll work with, bass drops obviously we'll work with. But we want to be the musicians that can click and play with each other.
We don't want to be a studio band.
Yeah, not just something in your ear. We want Shane to be able to be that type of musician that can play it on time by himself with nothing helping him. And we play through him. So we build off each other when we play. So that venue is awesome for that.
And just the crowd, like the fact that you're in a half pipe, there's no people in your face while you're playing. It's so much fun.
Yeah. So
that environment is perfect.
Yeah. So the skate park is probably my second favorite, but still I love Inside Out for the professionality of it and for just you have a professional feel
awesome
when you're on that
production, like sound, lighting, stage, like it's just a professional place, and Aaron does such an awesome job.
So props to Aaron Crowder for running that awesome.
Check out Inside Out, man. It's awesome. Stretch a little.
Not really. We don't stretch. We don't follow any really rituals.
No routines or anything. We just pump each other up.
We kind of just go at it. Now,
last minute set changes have been a routine lately.
Yeah, kind of like last minute deal. We don't say organized, but
hey, we're gonna do this on this here and here, and we'll just talk about it on stage.
We tried on our second show. Like Shane has a ball that's in the shape of a boob. So we tried to make it for every show we touch the boo ball, go in.
We lost it on tour. Someone stole the boo ball.
Yeah, someone stole it, so that kind of went out the window. But something that we try to do is we try to crowd around Shane right before we play and just kind of
pump
each other up a little bit. Give good advice. Just let each other know to have fun.
I touch all their butts before.
Any mistakes being made, just to play it through and have fun. Just do it. Let it be. This is us. We're just gonna play. But as far as anything other than that, we don't really do anything else. A lot of times, we're kind of separate as far as when we arrive to a venue.
Because I'm running the merch table, he's helping do sound somewhere.
And a lot of us have, every one of us have jobs, so some people can't get off jobs in time for us to be there early and stuff. So pre-show rituals hasn't been huge, but like I said, we try to pump each other up right before we play on stage. Flatline, it's really we love it. We do because it really.
There's a lot of negativity in that song though, but it
goes
with the Flatline thing.
Yeah, I mean the whole point is Flatline. You're supposed to
fuck anybody who
symbolic
says you
to
can't
something being dead, and in the lyrics it's about anybody who's kind of egotistic about themselves, who kind of thinks they're better than somebody. And
you're dead,
and we all have faced people like that. And we thought it was really cool. With Flatline, you're basically bringing an end to someone's egotistic ways. And in those lyrics, you really can see that it's kind of rough, kind of aggressive, but it's just the way it is. We want it to be kind of rough and aggressive because it's a rough, aggressive song. It's very one of our heavier tracks on the EP, so we wanted to make the lyrics based on that. The whole EP itself is kind of, one song's one way, one song's the other. We didn't want everything to be, we wanted everything to stand out. So, not all the songs are aggressive, not all the lyrics are aggressive. Some of them are actually very light. Some of them are about random subjects.
I mean, City of the Dead is just killing zombies.
It's just zombies, and then Artillery is just about someone in the military with post-traumatic stress. And basically what they go through after that and how they would feel. It's a lighter song on the track, but it's a more aggressive lyric.
And Guardian's about being there for people and helping them out and stuff.
Things like that. So they're kind of everywhere, but the EP is out now.
iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, CD Baby, our web store. It's at
$5. And as you can see,
we've got a bunch of them.
We ordered
too many.
Way too many. And I'm kind of glad we did though because we won't have to make another order for a while.
We probably won't.
But it really does help out when people buy it.
It lets us travel more when people buy our things.
So it's very important that we get that out there. But yes, it is out now. The title track does kind of embody the EP, being a more aggressive, bringing something down, stuff like that. And just stay tuned for the next one. Oh no!
No, we're about to put out the first single.
Yeah, we're about to put out the first single,
and that's all we have recorded.
And it's not even done yet. We got to go up one more time to finish the vocal parts, and then after that, give it another few weeks or so, and it should be done. Depending on exact time, but we're almost done. We have like a couple more songs to write, and then the actual album itself is going to be done.
And then it's just getting with Zach and being.
Yeah, and then once those are done, we are going to set the dates, and we're going to get it done as quickly as possible. Because we wanted to have it out
hopefully
this year, obviously.
It took us way too long to
It would be sweet to have it out during the summer or something.
But we're not going to rush it because we rushed Flatline and we're not exactly happy with it.
We rushed Flatline and we want to make this as good as we can. So.
Sushi. Greatest thing ever.
People are going to hate me because they think I'm Mexican.
You are Mexican.
But Mexican food. I love Mexican food.
Because he's Mexican.
I'm not Mexican. I'm from California. It's different. It's not the monkey.
Water, energy drinks, butt touches,
We eat Chinese food a lot, so Chinese food, I guess, I don't know.
We do, our band reeks of Chinese food.
Yeah. Show essentials, as far as us.
Flip-flops. I wear flip-flops
He wears
everywhere.
flip-flops.
Everywhere. The agility of flip-flops.
He's the only person who wears flip-flops. I don't get it. Because I would not want to stub a toe. But
yeah, but you can't step in a nasty ass shower wearing tennis shoes, so I can wear flip flops.
Why would you wear flip-flops in the shower?
If you're on tour and you go to somebody's nasty ass like portable showers.
Okay, whatever. We've not had to do that. But other than that, just like waters, because you get real thirsty real quick. Deodorant. We hate smelling bad.
I'm fat and I smell terrible after shows.
We are one of those bands that we don't like showing up stinky, we don't like leaving.
We like to be presentable. But that band smelled awful.
If you don't have deodorant, you buy deodorant right before the show.
There's a bunch in our van.
Lather it up. And then as soon as you get done, don't even talk to people. Go out there, lather it back up, go in, and be presentable. After a show.
Wow, that guy's dripping wet with sweat, but he smells wonderful.
Fantastic, and I want to hug him. Like, that's what I'm talking about. So, deodorant, cologne, you want to smell good no matter what. We are just those type of people. We don't like to smell bad.
We're a very clean band.
Yeah,
we might be the prettiest people, but we're clean.
We like to interact with as many people as possible, and you can't interact when you're stinky. No one wants to touch you.
People are like, yeah, you did great. Walks away.
Sweet, you did fantastic. Like, whatever.
Right.
So that, water, we all primarily drink energy drinks, so that's always good to have before show.
0 calorie monsters.
Yeah, since we're on a diet.
2 gallons of water a day, milkshakes, and a little bit of fruit here.
That's about it. And other than that, just make sure you have everything for each person's equipment. Make sure you have
batteries,
strings, batteries, picks, extra sticks.
We're getting a long answer for some essentials.
Yeah, a lot of it. It's all pretty basic though. I mean, literally just as a musician, you know what you gotta have for
your basic things.
So make sure everyone has that extra stuff. What's gonna break, what's not gonna break, things like that. And then vocally, just we throw on some Mayday Parade.
So I can warm up the old pipes.
We get into our fields and just sing it away. And then we go on there.
We do get in our fields.
We get real aggressive. So
Mayday Parade's sad.
We get real sad, real aggressive, real quick. So that's about it.
Thanks for supporting us, even though some of the things we do are terrible.
That's very broad.
I mean, it's nice that we have people who support what we do, and the thank you is really the only message I can give, because I didn't think that, because I've been in bands before where we didn't even make it into a year. If we did, we all hated each other by the end of the year, and we broke up shortly after. So just thanks for all the support, and thanks for sticking with us, and we'll put out a better EP very soon for you.
Fans wise, we literally
call them friends.
Like, the reason why we are as popular and we get on so many shows is because we have so many fans.
We make friends with everyone.
Well, they like to come see us play, and that's huge for a band.
Good show.
If you can bring a drawing from fan base, you are going to be gold for that venue. You're going to be gold for shows ahead. Things like that. If you bring a drawing, that means you bring a crowd, which means you have more interaction. You got more people seeing that venue. You got more people doing that things, and because of how many fans we have, more people show up to see us. More people we see with merchandise, things like that.
Man, it's cool. Last night we were playing, I looked up, and there was like 6-7 people wearing our shirts and like a line at our merch table. Like, we sold so much shit last night, and it's like, all we can say is thank you, because we didn't think we'd be there right now.
I mean, it's very generic to say that we wouldn't be where we are.
But we wouldn't.
But it's completely true.
If people weren't buying our merch and buying our CD and buying our stuff off iTunes, like, we wouldn't be able to travel and play new venues and meet new people and try new studios. Like, they fund us, so it sounds corny that all we can say is thank you, but we actually mean it. Like, thank you.
And with those fans, they're talking to other people, getting more people like me, more people out of state. So that's huge.
Man, when people tag us on Facebook, I don't even know, when they tag us and like share our band name with people, I'm like, that's awesome, because I've never met this person before. And they're taking time out of the day to tag a band that they don't really know us as people very well. But they're still taking time out of the day to share us with their friends and like, hey, this band's awesome, check them out, or these are cool people. Like, just the fact that people will share us around and like come to a show and buy our merch and support us. And like, I never thought I'd be up on stage a year after starting this band and people are grabbing the microphone from me singing my lyrics. Like, I never thought, that blows mine and Ben's mind. When we're singing, people just grab the mic and they know all our words and they're singing with us. Like, last night, I had to fight like 3 people back to get the microphone back just to sing my like last line of a song. Like, it's a great feeling that like I said, it just blows my mind that we haven't even been a band like maybe a little over a year now, and I'm fighting to get my microphone back to sing my own lyrics. Like, it's fun. So
yeah,
thank you.
All the fans, thank you. We love you. Keep supporting us, and we promise you we will give you things back that
banging
you will love,
EP.
and you will feel like this is totally worth it to help us out. So thank you very much.
We love you.